Hello and welcome to another FOG video, where I somewhat criticize Destiny, and Bungie as well, but not that much. First of all, I do want to thank all of you for the tremendous support, and if you're not subscribed, by all means, go ahead. That way, you won't miss all the crazy stuff that I say about Destiny, and the insane amount of hate that I get for saying the things that I do say. And on that note, you guys are savages. The hate is real, and I love it, and I do respect the serious amount of love you guys have for this game. That cannot be taken away from you. Well, from any of us. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you if Destiny has become nothing more than just an endless and pointless grind. As always, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, but remember, watch the video to the end before you comment. That way, you'll have my full context and point of view. So where do I start? I guess at the beginning. When I first started playing Destiny 1, I was immediately taken by it. I think a lot of us were. Everything about it was superb. All the mechanics, the challenges, the loot, the progression through the game, the social aspect of it. I mean, to me, it was all so impressive. I had never experienced that before. It was all so well done. I was a full-on addict from the start and pretty much only played Destiny for about 2 years running. And then with Destiny 2, when it came out, I was excited. In my head, Bungie were making the same game as Destiny 1, but better, and most importantly, without all the flaws. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It didn't take long to see that, although it felt different, Destiny 2 still had a lot of the same problems that Destiny 1 had, and somehow, it seemed to now actually have some extra problems. And if we just look at where we are now, the meaning of completing a quest, or completing a challenge, or getting an exotic, or visiting Xur, it's all just so mundane. It's become meaningless. Whether I go and see Xur these days makes no difference. Whereas before, if you missed him, it could mean that you might not see that particular exotic for months. I mean, we all pretty much have everything there is to have. We're all at max level, we've all pretty much done everything in the game. A lot of you have been grinding out the lore books and the triumphs and the titles, but in general, there's really nothing left to do. And every season, that becomes more and more apparent. Maybe now, it's all just about story and the gunplay mechanics. Because, you know, Destiny continues to be the absolute supreme leader when it comes to gunplay mechanics. But if that's the case, well, then shouldn't Bungie really try and maybe focus more on the PvP aspect of Destiny and enhance it? Give us more modes, give us ranked leagues, create something like a battle royale. And if it's just story that keeps us all going and motivated to play, shouldn't the game get more cutscenes and story missions and dialogue and better storytelling? Because it just doesn't feel like that's the case. And it really kind of feels like Bungie are just dragging out the game for monetization, maybe. Maybe I'm being unfair. Seasons are really the only thing we've had that give us any sort of new content, even though it still all feels like it's all the same. And then we have these so-called free events every few months, which are even worse. Look at Solstice of Heroes. It's yet again the same exact content for the same exact reward. You do the same bounties, the same exact missions, the same exact challenges, for the same exact armor, which once it's all done, no one will even care about. And to make it worse, once you get to the final step of the armor, if you're a solo player, well, you get a big FU, because it's mandatory that you complete activities that absolutely require you to have a team, which means you no longer have a choice on how to complete your final steps in order to get the fancy glow on your armor. And that's because you have to go and find people that are willing to play with you in order to complete a raid, for example. The truth is, I get the feeling that Bungie don't actually know how hard it can be for some players to find people to play with, especially solo players. Because if you're a solo player and you've not done the latest raid, for instance, and you go and try to find a group, they all ask for know what to do, which straight away makes it daunting. To interact with others because you feel like a lesser player. Obviously, this is just another problem with the game right now. Playing Destiny might actually have become pointless. It no longer feels satisfying to play. You're constantly asking the same question every time you log in. What shall I do? Because it all feels like a burden. The game forces you to go and just grind the same things you've done a million times, week after week. And there's nothing at the end of the rainbow anymore that's worth that same over and over grind. So why play? God rolls? Armor? Story? I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I mean, the game is still fun, but the feeling is getting emptier and emptier. Destiny 2 desperately needs an expansion that evolves the game. Something like Forsaken, or even a Destiny 3, where we all just start from scratch. I never actually thought I'd be suggesting something like this, but it does seem like it could be the answer to a lot of the issues. Just make Destiny 3. Anyway, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be nice. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.